Streaming live now on News8000.com. You're watching WKBT La Crosse. This is News 8 Now, this morning.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Alexandra Carter.
And I'm Art Jarrett.
It is Tuesday, July 16th, 2024. Pretty much good news over in the weather department today, right?
I concur with you.
All right.
In fact, we start off with a little less fog, a little less humidity, and of course, we're going to see the temperatures rising up, a little less the rainfall as well. It's going to be pretty nice out there. Get out and enjoy it if you can. You can see where you're in mostly patchy fog right now, and that's going to curtail into tomorrow as well. You're going to hold on to conditions to be like this. You get into Viroqua, you're looking at least patchy fog there, and Boscoville doing the same. Current temperatures right now, widespread in the 60s. You can see mid to upper 60s. Once you get a little bit closer to Red Wing, going right over into areas by Black River Falls. 70s incur as you go right into Winona as well as La Crosse here. We're also looking at Preston at 64, down to Prairie du Chien, 70, 71 in Boscoville. All right, that being said, we take a quick peek how this all plays out for us for the morning hours. Dry conditions. Mostly sunny skies, temperatures rising through the low to middle 70s, eventually getting into the 70s, upper 70s by the noon hour. How about that, though? Eau Claire will do some 60s, and they'll continue to bump up quickly out of the 60s, going into the 70s to finish out the 11 o'clock hour, going into the noon, 75 degrees. I'll have your full forecast coming up for you in just a bit.
Thank you, Art. We will see you later. The GOP ticket now official. Donald Trump will be the Republican candidate for president on the 2024 ballot. News 8 Now's Ken Kozarowski is in Milwaukee with a breakdown of day one of the Republican National Convention.
The great state of Wisconsin proudly casts all of its 41 votes for Donald J. Trump.
A tradition to kick off opening day of the Republican National Convention, with Wisconsin Republicans agreeing the National Party has never been more unified under President Trump.
People saw the Donald Trump that I've known for a very long time. He was shot in the head with a high-powered rifle, fell to the ground so he wouldn't get shot anymore, and his first instinct was to stand up, raise his fist in defiance with blood running down his face, and told American citizens to continue to fight for their freedoms.
But the big question was, who would Trump choose to join his ticket? The former president ultimately choosing 39-year-old Ohio Senator J.D. Vance. Vance was extremely critical of Trump in 2016, referring to him as cultural heroin. But since running for Senate in 2022, Vance has been one of Trump's most vocal allies in Congress.
Very compelling personal story. He is a Midwesterner. And since Wisconsin this year is not one of 50 states, we're one of about 7. They're going to decide this presidential contest. That is very, very important. And frankly, thirdly, I can't wait to see him on the debate stage with Vice President Harris.
J.D. Vance was raised in abject rural poverty in the meanest circumstances you could be. He left his home as a young man and joined the military, served his country honorably.
Vance is against abortion, opposes U.S. intervention in foreign conflicts, and has also spoken out against potential cuts to Social Security. Now, delegates and lawmakers will look forward to Trump's message to close out the convention later this week, a message they're confident will resonate.
I think the president kind of wants to encompass the moment, this tragedy, and use it as a way to kind of bring the country together.
So the party platform is set in stone, the official ticket now set in stone, and economic policy talk all wrapped up to cap off day one of the RNC. Day two's theme, Make America Safer once again, where speakers will be sure to touch on border policies and crime. Here in downtown Milwaukee, I'm Ken Kozarowski for News 8 Now this morning.
While Republicans were celebrating inside Pfizer Forum, that wasn't the case just a few blocks away. Thousands of protesters met in Red Arrow Park to protest the RNC and its presidential nominee. The crowd spoke out about a number of issues, from the war in Gaza to reproductive rights. They were united in seeing a second Trump presidency as a threat.
MAGA is basically a dictatorship along with Trump, and they are very much forward to take over the country, and with Project 2025, take away all sorts of freedoms.
Earlier this month, it was unclear if the rally would happen. A federal judge ruled protests could only take place at designated protest zones. But the group behind the protest said the areas were not close enough to the Pfizer Forum. The group reached a handshake agreement with Milwaukee PD to march outside of the hard zone perimeter. Now to the latest in the attempted assassination of former President Trump. CBS News learning more about what people in the crowd saw in the lead up to the shooting and when law enforcement knew something wasn't right, as CBS's Jared Hill reports.
This morning, new details on the attempt on former President Trump's life.
I seen him physically look at us, and he was like looking at us and crawling. And then next thing you know,
Michael DeFriscia captured the moment 20-year-old Thomas Matthew Crooks opened fire, killing one person, sending two others to the hospital.
There he is.
CBS News has learned Secret Service did not sweep the building Crooks shot from, despite it having a direct line of sight to the stage since it was outside of the security perimeter. The Butler County Sheriff says his department wasn't responsible for clearing the roof either.
I don't know whose responsibility that would have been.
But a source with direct knowledge says 3 snipers from local law enforcement were staged inside and radioed after seeing the gunman acting suspiciously before the shooting. By the time help arrived, it was too late. Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas called Saturday's shooting a security failure.
And I do intend to speak with members of the Hill with respect to the resources that we need.
The Biden campaign resuming ads after a weekend pause says it wants to lower the temperature. In an interview with NBC News, President Biden on his own speech.
How do you talk about the threat to democracy, which is real, when a president says things like he says? Do you just not say anything because it may incite somebody?
An independent investigation into any security failings will start within days.
DHS Secretary Mayorkas says former President Trump's security detail has been beefed up. President Biden also directed the Secret Service to protect independent presidential candidate Robert F. Kennedy Jr. A new bill was introduced to punish the Secret Service director financially following the agency's failure to protect the former president. The bill would prohibit federal funds being used to pay the salary of Kimberly Cheadle, the Secret Service director. In an interview with ABC News, Cheadle said Saturday's events were unacceptable and never should have happened. A Sparta man accused of selling drugs that led to a woman's death has pleaded not guilty to multiple charges. 52-year-old Timothy Burns faces felony counts, including first-degree reckless homicide, for allegedly delivering narcotics, as well as theft from a person or corpse. Prosecutors claim Burns sold heroin to the victim and destroyed her phone after she appeared to overdose. Burns entered not guilty pleas to all charges in Monroe County Court yesterday. He's scheduled to return to court next month. A Winona woman accused of sex trafficking a minor is headed to trial. 26-year-old Courtney Klickner faces a felony charge of child trafficking. Prosecutors allege she helped a man traffic a 16-year-old girl by setting up an online escort profile for the victim. In La Crosse County Court, a not guilty plea was entered, and the judge found probable cause to proceed with the trial. She'll be in court next in August. And a La Crosse woman accused of human trafficking will also stand trial. 28-year-old Chantel Kibler faces multiple charges, including 4 counts of human trafficking. Prosecutors allege she arranged sex exchanges for a victim to pay off a drug debt owed to her boyfriend. In court yesterday, a not guilty plea was entered, and the judge found probable cause to proceed. Kibler's next court appearance is August 9th. Former Chancellor of UW-La Crosse, Joe Gao, reacting yesterday to a faculty committee recommendation to have him removed from his tenured position at the university. The committee's decision was unanimous and sets up a vote for the UW Board of Regents to fire him. Gao says the committee's decision to have him removed is shocking.
It was surprising because it was a unanimous one by and large, and we thought, hey, there are probably some faculty who will support us, so to see that go that way was very disappointing.
If Chancellor James Beebe agrees to move forward with the committee's recommendation, Gao says he'll file an appeal. Now to the war in Gaza. Insiders say the head of Hamas may be under pressure to consider a ceasefire. This assessment comes from a source who attended a closed-door CIA conference over the weekend. The report suggests there may be internal divisions within Hamas leadership over continuing the conflict versus pursuing a negotiated end to hostilities with Israel. Happening today, President Joe Biden is expected to unveil a new federal cap on rent prices. Biden's plan would eliminate a tax benefit for landlords with more than 50 units who increase their tenants' rent more than 5% a year. It would not apply to units that haven't been built yet. Biden's plan would need to be approved by Congress. The time now is 6:09. Still ahead, Home Depot's Halloween collection will haunt stores sooner than you think. Kaspersky Lab is shutting down U.S. operations this month, and Google is planning a purchase deal with a cybersecurity startup. And some car insurance companies are denied customers coverage due to the model of their vehicle. More on the company's reason ahead. For now, we're sending you to break with something to put the good in your morning. Today is National Cherry Day. The little red fruits are rich in antioxidants and vitamins, but don't chew on the pits. Those contain toxins. You can celebrate today by posting pictures of how you enjoy this fruit with the hashtag National Cherry Day. Don't go anywhere. Your consumer news is after the break. And taking a live look now at Milwaukee, this is Pfizer Forum, where day 2 of the Republican National Convention is expected to start in just a few hours. We'll have complete team coverage from the convention throughout our newscasts today and online.
Chart your career with a welding position at Chart Industries. Do you have a year or more of welding experience? Starting wages up to $35 per hour. We have the job for you. Apply today at jobs.chartindustries.com.
It's a lot quieter around here than it used to be. I'm Rebecca Cook. When I was growing up, this farm was bustling. Holsteins, hired hands, harvesting crops. But big corporations put family farms like mine out of business. And what has Derek Van Orden done? Nothing. Tax cuts for big ag, rising healthcare costs, undermining our democracy, extremism. We need real working people in Washington. And that's why I approve this message.
Improving your home, improving your life with a better bathroom. In just a day or two, you can enjoy a wonderful new tub or shower that is attractive, easy to care for, and safe. New fixtures, shelves for storage, and grab bars for safety. Be safe, be happy, enjoy bathing again. Be even happier with everything new. Comfort Height toilet, vanity, sink, faucet, mirror, light, and new flooring. Call or visit the board store for a prompt free estimate. Get more for less today and every day.
If you've been hurt in a motorcycle accident due to no fault of your own, you need the personal injury law firm of Schwabel, Getz & Sieben. You have the right to obtain medical reimbursement, payment for past and future income loss, full compensation for pain and disability, and peace of mind knowing your financial interests are being protected. Call the personal injury powerhouse Schwabel, Getz & Sieben or visit schwabel.com to receive a free case consultation, representing accident victims for over 50 years.
To everyone making time for life's best moments, let us celebrate with you.
In Wisconsin, we love celebrating together.
Big days or any other day.
So much.
From hot and juicy to ooey gooey
to oh my word.
Oh my word. Serving you a handcrafted meal that makes
Today, a little bit more special. That's what fills us up inside.
From Wisconsin with love.
Welcome to Delicious.
The Make It Ford Summer Sales Event is on. So make it your best summer ever with Ford. Get your ideal combination of power and capability. And experience hands-free highway driving technology with Ford Blue Cruise, available on select vehicles. It's the Make It Ford Summer Sales Event, so make it yours. Make it now. Get 0% financing for 36 months plus $0 first month payment plus no payments for 90 days on select Ford SUVs. Only at your local Northland Ford dealers.
Chart your career with a welding position at Chart Industries. Do you have a year or more of welding experience? Starting wages up to $35 per hour. We have the job for you. Apply today at jobs.chartindustries.com.
All right, good morning. For those folks that are heading on out, you've got some patchy fog out there right about now. Black River Falls down to Sparta. Rockwell, you're picking up some fog. That's about 4 miles visibility. Boscobel doing the same. And up in Ladysmith, you're holding on to some patchy fog there as well. Not so much over in Eau Claire. Your local temperatures are holding on to the 60s and 70s, but not much in the way of the radar. You see a couple of blips coming out of Austin and Mason City there, and a lot of rainfall kind of moving off from Madison going out over the lake. In fact, you're going to see current temperatures widespread in the 60s, intermixed with the 70s. 70s, still comfortable, still a little bit humid, not as much as yesterday, but you'll feel it once you step outside. Hey, get into this though. We're going to see some winds coming out of the northwest. We have a troughing pattern here. You can kind of see it there, and that's going to usher in some cooler air for us. Also, we're going to pick up a little light rainfall. It's about a 20% chance for us here in La Crosse. Get up to the north though, you may see at least a 30, maybe even a 40% chance of shower activity there, and that's coming out of Minneapolis going up to Eau Claire as well as Ladysmith. As we roll right through the day, not much is happening for La Crosse, but you can see the cloud cover will initiate getting into at least partly cloudy skies, and we'll see some of that back off a little bit with a few cumulus clouds. Then we get into the 8 o'clock hour. You're seeing some light rainfall by Winona. That's about as close as we'll probably get to La Crosse. Some of that has, you can see that's what I saw earlier, and now it's back. It kind of blips right down to the south of La Crosse. That being said, we go into the 11 o'clock hour, and we are pretty much done for the day. Not looking for a lot of rainfall across the board here. In fact, as we finish out tonight, we're going to the afternoon, though. You're looking at La Crosse at least in the 70s widespread. 77 by the noon hour, with partly cloudy skies to mostly sunny conditions expected. You're also looking at Eau Claire doing the same, mostly sunny skies with an extra bit of sunshine for you there, 75 degrees as you get into the noon hour. More about this coming up for you in just a little bit.
In your consumer news this morning, spooky season is coming, and now is the time to start shopping if you want to go all out with your Halloween decor. Starting Thursday, some of Home Depot's biggest Halloween decorations will go on sale. The home improvement giant will again have Skelly, the colossal 12-foot tall animated skeleton, and its sidekick, Skelly Dog. Skelly has been a Halloween hit since it hit stores in 2020. Since then, the retailer has expanded its product line due to consumer demand. Other popular items like a 7-foot animated Frankenstein and the giant Inferno Deadwood skeleton will likely also be available. Yesterday, Kaspersky Lab announced it's winding down U.S. operations after nearly 2 decades. The move comes a month after the Commerce Department banned U.S. sales of the company's software and products, citing national security issues. The shutdown is expected to start July 20th, along with layoffs for U.S.-based employees. Kaspersky Lab started in Moscow in '97. It grew into one of the world's most successful antivirus software companies. Google is close to making a really large bet on cybersecurity. The tech giant is nearing its largest acquisition ever. It's a potential $23 billion deal for cybersecurity startup Wiz. That company makes cybersecurity software for cloud computing. Google's last major purchase was nearly a decade ago, $12.5 billion for Motorola. This potential deal still has not been finalized. According to sources, it still could fall apart. A Minnesota woman is in shock after she was dropped by her insurance company, all because of her car's make and model. The company refused to renew her policy, citing high theft rates, and the vehicle in question is a Hyundai Elantra. As Uba Ali reports, State Farm isn't the only big insurer that has pumped the brakes on insuring these cars.
It's the first time in about 30 years that I was able to buy a brand new car.
This 2019 blue Hyundai Elantra,
I love it,
has given Erin Walters freedom.
Cross country. Did a road trip.
That all changed a week ago after she tried renewing her car insurance with State Farm.
I was shocked that State Farm was denying me.
All because of the make and model of her car.
I would never buy a Hyundai because they're not stepping up to fixing the situation.
State Farm spokesperson says in part, State Farm has stopped accepting new customer applications in some states for certain model years and trim levels of Hyundai and Kia vehicles because theft losses for these vehicles have increased dramatically. Adding, this is a serious problem impacting our customers and the entire auto insurance industry.
What I would have to do is get the push ignition.
A harsh reality for customers like Walters.
And I've never cried over a car before.
For days, she's been here.
At least 4 hours a day.
Looking for options.
With this, you don't get anything.
Only to be let down again.
Thank you for shopping with Progressive. Based on the vehicle information provided, we are unable to offer you a policy at this time due to high theft rates.
In the last week, 40% of stolen cars were Kias and Hyundais, but Minneapolis police say they're starting to see a decrease.
Wish you never even bought a Hyundai?
Oh, absolutely. Right now, I wish I never would have.
That's it for your morning consumer news. Time now is 6:18. Let's check in with News 8 meteorologist Art Jarrett for a look at our forecast.
All right. Good morning, Alexandra. If you do have the chance to step outside, you're going to feel that it's less humid. In fact, you're going to feel the humidity, but you're going to feel that it's going to be better on your skin later on today once we get into it. Cooler conditions on the way for you. And in fact, you're going to be seeing sunshine as well across the day. 20% chance of showers, some of them kind of working across slowly but surely, but not a lot like we saw yesterday. In fact, you're going to get into drier conditions working in the area right about now. You're going to see there's a little bit of fog right there getting out of the way. Then you've got that line there. That's the troughing pattern that comes in. Associated showers with that as well by Wausau going into areas right by Minneapolis. And then they start to kind of dip in, coming in from just the east, southeast. You're going to see by Rochester, getting into areas by Winona. That's a place that's going to get a little bit. Ladysmith kind of mixed in there, and Eau Claire will probably pick up a few of those showers as we finish out the day. It's more like a 30 to 40% chance up to the north and here locally down to the south there, as well as the central portion. We're seeing about a 20% chance. See, that gets out, not much going on as far as rain is concerned. Wednesday, we pick up some cooler air as that troughing pattern gets out of the way, and it starts to release some of that cooler air coming out of Canada in there, and we cool down for a couple of days. Then we warm it back up as high pressure builds right back on top of us, and that stays with us to finish out the work week. Tuesday and Wednesday, I want to give you a better view of this rainfall. That's more of a dynamic view of it here. You can see it up to the north by Eau Claire, and then kind of getting out of the way as we go right back over to Green Bay. And then that opens up with more of that wind coming back in associated with that troughing pattern. We'll also see Marquette all the way back over to Ladysmith, but more of that rainfall coming back down again all the way into Milwaukee. So folks that are going to the RNC convention, you're going to be picking up some more rainfall there. Then we see kind of a change there. The winds are starting to come out of the northwest and kind of cooling us down a little bit more so. Wind and speed direction still a part of our forecast today with light winds up to about 9 to 10 miles per hour. You're seeing the rainfall. Oh man, not much going into tomorrow. We're looking at maybe a few hundredths of an inch, if that. Current visibility right now, you can see mostly the pocket areas here in the areas right by Viroqua as well as Boscobel, picking up some fog, low cloud activity, and it's picking up on the north areas as well as in Ladysmith. You're picking up 61 in Ladysmith, current temperature 70 in Winona, also in areas by Sparta 67, 70 in La Crosse. Pretty comfortable indeed, despite the low cloud activity and the fog that's going to be with us this early morning when it gets out of the way. It's limited. You can see eventually 60s and 70s expected for Eau Claire, and once that gets into it, a nice day will ensue for us. I even put this in here so you can see by 1 o'clock or so for Eau Claire, you're looking at rainfall sneaking in all the way into the evening commute, and eventually for La Crosse, it'll go all the way up until from about 5 o'clock to about 7 o'clock possibly, and then we're done for the day. All right, as far as that is concerned, you're looking at the potential for, again, as I mentioned, 20% chance of showers, and it's going to be warm today, about 82 degrees, and we'll get at least about 76 for tomorrow. Have a great day.
The time now is 6:21. Still ahead on your morning news. Keep in the dark about your brain health. Coming up, we'll explore why experts say cognitive testing is so crucial, especially as we age. Learn when you should consider getting a baseline evaluation and why early detection could make all the difference.
Coming up in the Blitz, a battle of in-state rivals on the softball diamond. Plus, a Vikings player talks about his experience watching a new group of Pioneers on the gridiron.
I'm Eric Hovde. I approve this message. Our Constitution has given us more rights, freedoms, and prosperity than any country in history. Every 4th of July, we come together to celebrate those freedoms. But right now, we're a divided nation. We have to stop putting on the blue jersey or red jersey. Instead, put on the red, white, and blue jersey. Come together and get things done. I'm proud to be an American.
At Taco John's, we believe a better Taco Tuesday starts with better tacos. That means using 100% North American beef, cooking shells in-house daily, and a deal that makes you say, how are these only $1.29? Taco Tuesday is every Tuesday at Taco John's.
Your home, a place of comfort and safety, could be trying to tell you something. Interior cracks, sloping floors, hard to open doors and windows are all signals of foundation failure that you can't ignore. At American Waterworks, we use modern techniques and warranted solutions to restore your peace of mind in your home. After all, your home's foundation issues won't get better with time, but it will with our proven solutions. Choose confidence, choose reliability, choose American Waterworks.
When the time comes to update or remodel your current recreational vehicle, Jim's Truck and Trailer is here to help. Our experienced design team will work with you and develop a plan to fit your lifestyle and needs. We can take on any size renovation, from installing a sofa to a complete makeover, including walls, lighting, floors, cabinetry. Whatever the scope of your renovation plan is, we are here to create your vision. Jim's Truck and Trailer Coachworks. Repair, refinish, remarkable.
The Republican National Convention comes to Milwaukee. News 8 Now will take you there live all this week as Wisconsin takes center stage. Expect more from your campaign 2024 coverage and join us on air, in your hand, and online all this week. Download the News 8000 app today.
Welcome to the Blitz. Well, Sunday at TCO Stadium, the Vikings practice facility, it was quite the scene as the 4 girls flag football teams from the Southeast Minnesota League gathered for the playoffs of their inaugural season. And those girls showcased some great skills. In Game 1 for the La Crescent Lancers, the girls had no trouble taking down the team from Houston with a final score of 38-8. And it was the clash of the two teams with the best records in the regular season. Lancers had an opportunity to win the game against Rosemount in the final stages, but a failed 2-point conversion meant the Crescent would fall just short. Now, regardless of the outcome, it's a season that will set the standard for the future. One Minnesota Vikings player was impressed with the game, but also enjoyed watching how much fun they all had.
Oh, that was maybe the best part. I mean, these young ladies, they got a lot of personalities. Had me laughing, but it was just great to watch them compete and, you know, see them having fun, because, you know, that's why I'm here. So I enjoyed it a lot.
And when asked about the decision to go for 2 to win the game, Cashman said he loved it and also said he would have done the exact same thing. For more on the girls' trip to TCO Stadium, check out our website, news8000.com, under the Sports tab. And no MLB last night, so let's head to the Northwoods League. Softball Steam facing off with Madison Nightmares go 4-0 with that hit by Addie Blomberg. Steam bats have to answer, and they do. First, Rachel Morai sends a ringing double to center field. Then Lindsay Schultz with 2 outs and 2 strikes. She comes through with a single to left to get Lacrosse on the board. Next hitter then, Ashley Wolf, and she's going to shoot this one down the line. That ball barely fair. Morai comes in to score to make it 4-2. And that would not be all. Ashley Shantos coming up next, and she's going to rip one right up the guts to plate the 3rd Steam run. But the Nightmare pitching staff would quiet down the home side's bats for the rest of the game, and they tack on a few more as well. Madison goes on to take this one 11-3. Steam continue to struggle against their in-state rival. That'll do it for the Blitz. We'll see you tonight.
I'm Tammy Baldwin, and I approve this message.
I'm 82. 86.
90 years young.
Eric Hovde thinks people like us shouldn't be able to vote.
If you're in a nursing home, you only have 5-6 month life expectancy. Almost nobody in a nursing home is in a point to vote.
Son, I've served this country. I think I can handle a ballot. What a jerk.
Eric Hovde, I'm fully aware of whom I'm voting for, and it won't be you.
Start your adventure and get in a new Jeep at Pischke Motors La Crosse or Pischke Motors West Salem.
Make this the summer with a Jeep Grand Cherokee. Stop into Pischke Motors now to save over $6,000 off MSRP on select 2024 Grand Cherokees. The Grand Cherokee is ready for your next adventure and is a modern icon of style and strength with the power and confidence you know Jeep provides. Hurry in, this offer ends July 31st.
Start your search at Pischke.com and drive away in your new Jeep.
I'm Tom Hammes from Maxwell White Water Conditioning. Have you been concerned about the quality of your water? Many homes in our area face issues like hard water, high iron, city-added chlorine, acidity, PFAS, and nitrates in their water. These can cause scale buildup, dry skin, stained laundry, health issues, appliance damage, and more. So don't let bad water affect your home and health. Call us today for a professional evaluation and start enjoying cleaner and safer water for you and your family. That's Maxwell White Water Conditioning, done right.
This is Kathy. She's about to see her dentist. She's afraid. Not because of the drill, but because of the bill. A big bill. But Kathy doesn't need to be afraid, and neither do you, thanks to affordable dental insurance from Physicians Mutual Insurance Company. It's easy to get this coverage. Don't believe me? Call or go online for all the details. You could even have this free information kit. This isn't a discount plan or preventive-only coverage. This is real dental insurance. It helps pay for over 400 procedures. That's a lot. I'm talking cleanings, fillings, crowns, bridges, root canals, even dentures. Bottom line, you'll have help paying for routine care and expensive major work. But if you want deductibles, forget it. There aren't any. No annual maximum either. Plus, you can see any dentist you want. Stop fearing the big bill. Start saving at the dentist. Call now or go to sendinfokit.com.
Physicians Mutual, Physicians Mutual.
The First Warn Weather app. Download it today. What is a hero? Not the kind from comic books and movies, saving the day. We're talking about everyday heroes. Those with a special kind of courage or ability. Those saving the day, one person at a time. News 8 Now wants to find those heroes and thank them for bettering our community. Go to news8000.com, click on Features, then Hometown Heroes to nominate someone you feel is truly a hometown hero. You're watching News 8 Now. Expect more.
In your morning medical news, a new report reveals a concerning gap in teen mental health support. The National Center for Health Statistics found only about 1 in 4 teens say they feel they have sufficient social and emotional support. Parents were nearly 3 times more likely to believe their kids were getting enough support. Researchers suggest this discrepancy could stem from communication issues between teens and parents, as well as teens' reluctance to share their struggles. The findings highlight the need for improved mental health resources and parent-teen communication about emotional well-being. There's been a lot of talk about cognitive testing during the 2024 race for the White House. The mental fitness of President Joe Biden, 81, and his Republican opponent Donald Trump, who's 78, is under the microscope. But what exactly goes into a cognitive test? Who should get one? And can a test help you or a loved one? Brian Abel is looking into those questions for us.
Most people generally have a good idea of their overall health, but when it comes to brain health, many of us are likely in the dark.
We know our heart, we know our blood pressure, we know our kidney functioning, we know our thyroid. Nobody knows how their brain is functioning at a time in life when they're functioning fine.
And often by the time we notice something is wrong, it's already too late.
These brain diseases that we're talking about with aging, they creep up on you.
Anyone experiencing memory loss or cognitive impairment should seek neuropsychological testing. And Weintraub says when you turn 55, you should probably get a baseline evaluation of your cognitive abilities before symptoms arise. And there are multiple assessment options out there.
It could be from as simple as what year is it to 8-hour batteries and everything in between.
Those assessments...
Ready to do some testing today?
Use Simple Task to test both verbal and visual memory.
In someone with dementia, they may be able to learn the words, but when you come back half an hour later, they really can't remember almost any of them. And that's when we know something is abnormal.
Most importantly, experts say don't ignore possible symptoms and don't wait.
Don't just think it's normal aging. It might be, let the doctor tell you that, Get in, get evaluated.
And it's not just brain function these tests can catch early. They can also uncover other health issues like tumors, strokes, or metabolic disorders. An immigration panel at the La Crosse Public Library focused on dignity and hope for immigrants. The Coulee Region Immigration Summit is led by the Franciscan Sisters of Perpetual Adoration and the Greater La Crosse Area Diversity Council. Panel discussion included migration experts, local employers, and representatives of the Humanitarian Parole Program.
If we didn't have those folks working on the dairy farms, I'm not sure you would be getting your milk here just quick like that. So I feel like it's really important for people to realize how important and how much culture they really do bring to our community.
After the event, attendees socialized and enjoyed some free food. It might be halfway through summer vacation for your kids, but students from Northside Elementary and Coulee Montessori are starting school earlier this year. The schools are trying out a new year-round schedule, first for the district. The theme of this year, Growing Together, is in part because of their new greenhouse and their 10-year anniversary of the schools joining together at the new location. The school's principal says she's excited to keep their momentum growing.
I'm so looking forward to watching our kids and our staff and myself grow. Even as an administrator, we did a lot of great things last year. We reduced our absenteeism by 50%, which was huge. And so we just want to keep growing on what we accomplished last year and keep doing great things.
The new schedule will have students attend school for 9 weeks with 2 to 3 breaks called intersessions throughout this year. Summer vacation is also shortened to 6 weeks. One man has made it his mission to bring a smile to people around him, and he happens to do it with a hedge trimmer. CBS's Leah Mishkin reports from London.
On a dead-end road in the London borough of Islington, Tim Bush is trimming his hedge. Nothing out of the ordinary until you take a step back.
Was this the first one, the original?
This is the original one, yeah. This came about, Philip and my wife used to sit in the living room and look out through the window here and demanded that I cut a cat.
She got this train instead. That was more than 15 years ago. Soon after, he decided to help his neighbor who struggled to trim his hedge across the road. It was Philippa's idea.
So then I gave her the cat that she'd asked for the first time.
Philippa and Tim met when they were teenagers in art college. They were together 47 years before she died of breast cancer.
She died about 7 years ago. Sorry.
Sorry. It's a beautiful way to honor her, though, because it's her idea.
No, it is her legacy, yeah.
This father of 3 has since transformed hedges near his home into elephants, fish. There's even a Henry Moore reclining nude. It's in front of Polly Barker's house. She's in the choir with Tim.
I was slightly worried whether the neighbours might be offended because she's quite, full on, but they haven't complained. We're a tourist attraction on Google Maps now.
The hedges aren't just tourist attractions. With each commission, this architect raises money for various environmental causes. At first, he raised money for the organization that looks after his sister.
My younger sister's got Down syndrome, so I raised about 10,000.
This isn't gardening, he says, it's sculpting. His wife Philippa was also an artist, and he says she would have been fascinated by how the hedges have taken off.
Do you think you'll keep going?
Till I fall off my ladder, I think.
He likes the end result, and that it makes people smile.
And yes, his last name is really Bush. As the artist puts it, that is in his destiny. The time now is 6:36. Here's News 8 meteorologist Art Jarrett to tell us what to expect for our morning commute.
All right, little patchy fog as usual around here. We're going to see that down by Viroqua getting into Boscobel. But as far as the conditions are concerned, you're going to see a little bit of sunshine on some of these graphics, as well as portions of a little rainfall associated with that as well. You'll go all the way from Onalaska down into areas by Stoddard. They're looking at 78 degrees, 81 in Albany, Lansing about 81 degrees, and in Steuben about 80 degrees as well. We'll also pick up conditions once you get into areas by Alma Center. You're looking at 77 degrees, 79 in Arcadia, and in fact Trempealeau 79, and we're knowing about 78 degrees. And we'll finish out getting into areas by Weyerhaeuser with 77. A whole lot of sunshine for you still, all the way down to Cornell as well. Ladysmith doing the same at 76, and Fall Creek at 77 degrees, and Nelsville about 77. All right, this is how it all looks as we go into it. The next few days, you're looking at 82 degrees today, and then cooler conditions to ensue for Wednesday and Thursday. It's going to be so much more comfortable, no more humidity, right? As the area of low pressure starts to move in, we'll also see the conditions to hold on into mild as we go into Friday and Saturday, holding on to very comfortable conditions to finish out your weekend as you finish out into the low 80s, and possibly even more so when we pick up a little bit more by Monday and Tuesday.
All right, Art.
All right. Okay.
And before we head to break, it's time to look at today's Look Who's 8.
Yeah, Henry's turning 8 weeks old today. He loves to eat and sleep.
And Iris is turning 8 years old. She loves to ride horses, make arts and crafts, and go camping.
Hey, if you know a special someone turning 8 weeks, 8 months, 8 years, 18 or 80 or 88 years old soon, we'd love to feature them.
That's right. Just upload their photo to our website, news8000.com, and look for the Submit Pictures button underneath the Home tab. Coming up, a taste of the Mediterranean right here in La Crosse. We'll preview the 50th Annual Mediterranean Festival, a local tradition blending delicious cuisine, lively music, and rich cultural experiences. Find out how you can get involved.
Save big Monday through Sunday at Hy-Vee. All natural chicken breasts, just $3.88. Driscoll strawberries, just $2.44 a pound when you buy a 2-pound pack. And Hy-Vee yogurt, 3 for just $1. Monday through Sunday at Hy-Vee.
After long-standing efforts from Wisconsin Senator Tammy Baldwin, 3 of the 4 biggest pharmaceutical companies say they're going to start capping the prices of their inhalers.
They used to charge families like ours $600 a month for an inhaler, even though they cost less than $5 to make. So Tammy Baldwin fought the drug companies, and she won. Now Hadley's inhaler costs $35, and we're breathing easier.
I'm Tammy Baldwin. I approve this message. I don't work for the drug companies. I work for you.
Air conditioning stopped working? Tired of finding ways to stay cool? Don't sweat it. Give G&T Heating and Air Conditioning a call. They'll have you feeling cool as a cucumber without having to resort to, well, alternative methods.
Call G&T.
For the best heating and air conditioning guaranteed.
At Blaine's Farm and Fleet, we get you quality pet supplies because we get you. Right now, during our summer pet care sale, shop unbeatable deals on your pet's favorite food and supplies to keep them happy and healthy. Like a free $15 Blaine's gift card when you spend $75 on Purina dog or cat food, litter, and treats. Blaine's brand Easy Scoop cat litter, 4 for $24. And stay cool with a 20-inch box fan, $22.99, just $19.99 for rewards members.
Find value at Blaine's Farm and Fleet.
For over 5 decades, Jim's Truck and Trailer in Winona has been your solution for everything transportation related. In 1971, my dad Jim recognized truckers and families needed a reliable partner who will have their vehicle road ready. Still family owned and operated, our mission has never wavered. Whether your ride is a truck and trailer, auto transportator, charter bus, or RV, Jim's Truck and Trailer's fleet of ASC certified technicians can handle any issue or upgrade. Jim's Truck and Trailer Coachworks. Repair, refinish, remarkable.
It just keeps getting worse.
These are telltale signs that water is shifting your foundation. But it's okay. We got it.
Oh, this is done growing in this house.
Okay.
Cracking drywall is just one sign your foundation is compromised, but you can. Put water back in its place with a free inspection from Innovative Basement Authority. For a limited time, get $500 off any repairs when you call or go online today.
Save big Monday through Sunday at Hy-Vee. Lay's, Kettle Cooked, Rolled Gold, or Munchies, $1.99 each when you buy 2. Jack's Pizza, $2.98. And buy 2, get 1 free on Coke or Topo Chico Sabores. Monday through Sunday at Hy-Vee.
All right, grab that coffee. A little patchy fog outside if you're going out there, so please be careful. A little patchy fog will continue through the early morning hours. Less fog, though, from what we had yesterday. Still a bit humid out there, but we're going to lose some of that humidity as the day progresses. We have mostly sunny skies and warm conditions, and we're going to be a lot cooler than what we were yesterday over the next couple of days. In fact, 20% chance of showers today will also chime in. Let's take a quick peek here. We've got cooler conditions rolling in because we have a couple of troughing patterns right here, and that one's headed right for Wisconsin. We've got also one up to the north as well, and rainfall down to our south where we're picking up some pretty decent thunderstorm activity well south of Iowa. In fact, you're also going to pick up drier conditions here for us right now. We load in the fog you can see right now, some low cloud activity associated with that. Then we get the troughing pattern as you can see with the showers associated with that going into the 4 o'clock hour. You'll pick up some spotty showers as you can see to finish out the day, and once we get into the nighttime around 8 o'clock, you'll see some of that kind of getting near Winona and La Crosse. So maybe a spotty spotty shower or two to finish out your evening. We go into Wednesday, you see the same thing well up to the north, and that continues to exit out with a little light sprinkle or two coming in from the north. We're also going to see cooler conditions ensue here as well, and so it'll be a little bit comfortable with cooler air coming out of Canada. That being said, what's next? Well, we'll go right into Tuesday and Wednesday. I want to give you a better view of this. You can see the winds associated with this as well. As far as the rainfall is concerned, it's more of about a 30 to 40% chance up to the north by Eau Claire and Ladysmith. Not so much by La Crosse, about a 20% chance, so it's a slight chance. You'll see this continue over by Green Bay, trickle out over into the water, and then eventually the winds continue to progress, but they're going to come out of the north and northwest and eventually kind of curve right down from the west for La Crosse, and that's going to usher in the cloud cover. You see more rainfall by Milwaukee, so if you're going to the RNC convention there, you'll pick up a little shower activity. We'll also see drier conditions ensue going into the evening hours for tonight. All right, that being said, wind speed and wind direction, well, it's coming out of the north, and it's light, up to about 10 miles per hour or less. Rainfall, about a few hundredths of an inch, if that, going into Wednesday. Visibility, you can also see, the patchy fog by Viroqua getting into Sparta. Not much change for La Crosse at 10 miles of visibility. Same thing for Eau Claire. Still 9 miles up there in Ladysmith, and down to the south by Prairie du Chien, you've got a little patchy fog down there working. All right, current temps, you can see widespread 60s and some 70s mixed in. We'll carry over to how this all looks going into the next few days, where you're going to see, again, 70s to start, and then we'll go right into Eau Claire doing the same thing, holding on to about 68 to about 70 degrees to 75 by the time you get in the noon hour. And then we finish out with this air forecast going in for the 7 by 7. You're also going to be seeing rainfall potential for Eau Claire as you get into the afternoon and evening hours, and maybe a sliver of a chance for La Crosse by the time you get into the 5 to 7 p.m. time slot. That being said, it's going to be pretty nice out there for everybody. So 70 to 80 degrees in some cases, and away we go with 82 to 76 degrees to finish out the next couple of days. 80s will ensue back again, and we'll get back into mild to warm conditions again. Be safe out there.
Thank you, Art. La Crosse is gearing up for a vibrant celebration of Mediterranean culture this weekend. The 50th annual Mediterranean Festival, hosted by St. Elias Orthodox Church, promises a day filled with delicious food, lively music, and cultural experiences. And we're joined this morning by a parishioner from that church, Richard, to tell us more. Good morning, Richard. Nice to see you again.
Thank you. Good to be here.
So what can you tell us about the event?
Well, of course, this is the 50th year now that we've had this festival. And it's put on by the St. Elias Church up on the north side, 716 Copeland Avenue. And we have a variety of activities. We have, of course, the number one thing is the food.
Yes.
The food. We're going to be having chicken kebab, which is marinated in our special Mediterranean sauce. We're going to have sliced lamb dinners. And we're also going to have falafel for those who are not meat eaters.
Okay, or if you just love falafel, right? It sounds so good.
I'm about to pass out now with food and be here. That sounds great.
Well, we're going to back those meals up with Syrian rice, with salata, with some hummus, and some pita bread. Okay. So it should be a great event.
Yeah, sign us up.
Hey, tell me, it's the 50th anniversary. How's the event actually evolved over the last 50 years?
Well, it's evolved. It's very interesting. We started in 1976 because the church was actually vacant for about 56 years. Oh. It was established in 1917, and then we had a regular pastor there. Then he left to St. Paul because they needed someone up there. Okay. So for 56 years, but the few faithful that were left in La Crosse kept the place alive. Okay. And so in 76, we got together. A few of us people got together. We said, okay, let's do this. And so we brought in a full-time priest. And we've been doing this festival ever since, and this is one thing that's kind of helped us keep going. Wow. Plus an opportunity to share our culture with the community. Yeah. And it is very much of a cultural fest because we have a variety of people from different ethnic groups who are in the church, and they all present their cultures, so it's a great opportunity for people to get exposed to these cultures and also enjoy the day.
Yeah, so speaking of tell us a little bit more about those cultural activities. I know there'll be music. You have this drum with you. What can you tell us about that?
This drum is called the Durabaki. It's a Syrian drum. It has a goat skin on top. And we will be doing a dance called the Dubki later on in the day after our live entertainment leaves. Okay. So in the live entertainment is going to be, we have a Maritza band coming from Decorah, Iowa. We have a polyphonic choir coming from Lafarge, Wisconsin. We have the Monona folk dancers coming down. And also we have the Bulgarian bagpipe Gadulka players from Minneapolis.
Wow, that is a
coming
lot
down.
to remember. Look at you go. It's a jam-packed day for sure.
There is. All right, so you already told us about some of the food. Are there any other items that we don't know about that surprises?
Yes. This year we're going to be having an Arabic tea ceremony, which will be limited to people who sign up for that.
Okay.
We're also going to have, what have we got going here? We're going to have church tours of the church, which is a very interesting church, very interesting place. There's going to be a silent auction there for people to take advantage, and there's going to be an iconographer coming from Madison who's going to show people how to create icons, which are the religious paintings within the church.
Yeah, very cool. All right, and is it this Sunday or next Sunday?
It is this Sunday, the 21st.
Sunday. Okay,
yes.
and how do we get tickets? How should we go about it? Do we need tickets?
Yes, you do need tickets. The tickets are available at Marcus Apparel on Pearl Street, or there is a you go to the website and there's a phone number you can call, and you can select your chicken, your lamb, or your falafel dinner at that time.
Okay, so you recommend doing that ahead of time.
Tickets will be available at the event, but depending upon availability. So we encourage people to get the tickets as soon as possible.
Okay.
Go from there.
I'm sure it's a popular event with all that delicious food.
Oh, boy.
We gotta get our
and the
orders
bake sale.
in.
Don't forget about the bake sale.
Oh yeah, the bake sale
The bake
too.
sale, very good. Thank you, sir. Yes, we have a bake sale. It's second to none, and we're going to be featuring the baklava,
Yeah.
you know, the layered pastry. In fact, the people at the church are going to be making it done tomorrow and Thursday. I mean, tons and tons of. Last year we had a complete sellout of the bake sale.
Wow.
So it's the number one thing. It's a thing to get there first. There'll be breads from these countries. There'll be pastries from these countries, and people should come and
Yes,
enjoy.
you've got us convinced. Well, thank you so much for being here this morning, Richard.
You're welcome, and thank you, and welcome. Mahalo sahala.
Thank you so much. Stay with us. We're back right after this.
Bring your home to life with colorful pieces from Ashley. Discover trending hues and styles starting at $499.99. From bold and bright to soothing and serene. Cue the color only at Ashley. Shop more deals in store and online.
Listen to Senator Tammy Baldwin.
What is your view of the Biden presidency?
It is one of the most successful administrations in generations.
Most successful in generations? Inflation is sky high. Our border is wide open. Drugs flood our streets. The world is in chaos.
One of the most successful administrations in generations.
If this is success, we're in big trouble.
I'm Eric Hovde, and I approve this message.
To everyone making time for life's best moments, let us celebrate with you.
In Wisconsin, we love celebrating together.
Big days or any other day.
So much.
From hot and juicy to ooey gooey
to oh my word.
Oh my word. Serving you a handcrafted meal that makes
today a little bit more special. That's what fills us up inside.
From Wisconsin with love.
Welcome to Delicious.
We're an implant-focused practice. I think the advantage of a father-daughter practice is, I've been at this for 30 years now. I learned things that worked well and things that didn't work so well.
And it was fun to be able to just jump in and kind of complement that. I feel like it made both of us stronger.
You don't expect it when you walk into a dental office. You don't expect the family aspect, but when you walk into our doors, we're going to give you that.
If you think you have a full mouth of challenges, come see us. Come down for a free consultation.
Bring your home to life with colorful pieces from Ashley. Discover trending hues and styles starting at $499.99. From bold and bright to soothing and serene. Cue the color only at Ashley. Shop more deals in store and online.
Welcome back. It's 6:52. Time for your morning news now. The Republican National Convention kicked off in Milwaukee yesterday. Party officials say Trump personally reviewed this year's platform to align with his vision, focusing on immigration, inflation, manufacturing, global stability, and protecting entitlements. Delegates then formally nominated Trump as the party's presidential candidate.
The great state of Wisconsin proudly casts all of its 41 votes for Donald J. Trump.
And Trump is going with 39-year-old Ohio Senator J.D. Vance as his pick for VP. Vance is a former Marine who went to Yale Law School and is in his first term in the Senate. Brian Schimming says Vance works on this ticket for a few reasons.
J.D. Vance is great for a couple of reasons. He has a very compelling personal story. He is a Midwesterner. And since Wisconsin this year is now one of 50 states, we're one of about 7, they're going to decide this presidential contest. That is very, very important. And frankly, thirdly, I can't wait to see him on the debate stage with Vice President Harris.
Vance supports tariffs on trade and opposes U.S. intervention in foreign conflicts, particularly the war between Russia and Ukraine. He's also spoken out against potential cuts to Social Security and opposes abortion. But while Republicans were celebrating inside Pfizer Forum, that wasn't the case just a few blocks away. Thousands of protesters met in Red Arrow Park to protest the RNC and its presidential nominee. The crowd spoke out about a number of issues from the war in Gaza to reproductive rights. They were united in seeing a second Trump presidency as a threat.
MAGA is basically a dictatorship along with Trump, and they are very much forward to take over the country, and with Project 2025, take away all sorts of freedoms.
Earlier this month, it was unclear if the rally would happen. A federal judge ruled protests could only take place at designated protest zones. The group behind the protest said the areas were not close enough to the Pfizer Forum. The group reached a handshake agreement with Milwaukee PD to march outside of the hard perimeter zone, but still within sight of the RNC. Former Chancellor of UW-La Crosse Joe Gao reacting yesterday to a faculty committee recommendation to have him removed from his tenured position. The committee's decision was unanimous and sets up a vote for the UW Board of Regents to fire him. Gao says the committee's decision came as a shock.
It was surprising because it was a unanimous one by and large, and we thought, hey, there are probably some faculty who will support us, so to see that go that way was very disappointing.
If Chancellor James Beebe agrees to move forward with the committee's recommendation to fire Gao, Gao says he will file an appeal.
All right, sunny skies today ahead. Of course, we're going to see just a limited amount of humidity in the picture. We're looking at temperatures running from 74 to 82 degrees today, and then tomorrow widespread in the 70s. Much more comfortable for everybody. More sunshine on the way for you, and that'll carry over in the next few days as we continue on all the way into the weekend with more sunshine for you to get out and enjoy it and have some fun out and about.
Discovered one of the deepest underground caves on the moon near the Apollo 11 landing site. NASA's Lunar Reconnaissance Orbiter revealed a skylight entrance to the cave, approximately 330 feet wide. While the cavern's depth is currently unknown, this discovery coincides with NASA's commemoration of the 55th anniversary of the Apollo 11 moon landing. The cave could potentially serve as a site for future lunar exploration or habitation. Wonder what's hiding in there now. Right? Something's got to be in there.
Chewbacca, hello, buddy.
Well, thank you so much for starting your morning with us. We will see you back here at noon. Until then, enjoy your Tuesday.